constantly feel like you just don't have enough time in the day? There's never enough hours. This video is for you. My name is Karen Ann Hope Andrews. I'm a clinical psychologist since 2009. And you're probably expecting me to give you a bunch of time management techniques. And the thing is, these may be super helpful, but only to a point. All the Pomodoro techniques, the time blocking, scheduling, calendar management in the world. Today, I want to show you the real reason why high performers always fall behind and walk you through what you can do to reclaim your time and take that pressure off your shoulders. Let's get into this. The problem actually is that you are trying to do the impossible. The truth is, you just can't fit in everything you're trying to do. You can't be the full-time founder of your own business and a full-time marketer and salesperson and manager and a full-time parent and be on the school committee and have a social life and make time for exercise and self-grooming and self-care and all the things that are on your plate. You can't be on holiday and work for a few hours every day, because the thing is, one is actually canceling the other, and it's just that you're trying to do too much. Let me tell you about my client Ahmed, not his real name. He's a highly successful entrepreneur who used to be an investment banker. He runs 3 or more businesses. He manages his family's private wealth portfolio. He has a very demanding family and extended family and a big group of friends. He expects himself to look good, so he works out every day. He's in his mid to late 30s and he wants to get married and have kids. So he tries to go out every weekend and maintain a good social life because he's hoping to meet the right person. On top of all of this, he needs to keep up with the markets. He needs to read. He manages multiple projects and he's handling that responsibility of the family's wealth portfolio. The thing is, Ahmed is a people pleaser who finds it impossible to say no when family asks him to do things big or small. Ahmed doesn't have this critical skill. And Ahmed came to me because he was experiencing a form of severe panic attacks. So bad that he'd actually ended up in ER. He consulted a bunch of specialists, had a bunch of tests, and everything came back completely clear. So he had no choice but to accept the consensus from the doctors that he had a diagnosis of anxiety. And by the way, if you ever have a panic attack, know that it can feel like something very dangerous is happening. It can feel like cardiac arrest. Don't assume that it is a panic attack unless you've experienced exactly this before. Definitely always go to ER first to rule out some kind of organic reason for the symptoms or some kind of physical cause. It's always best to be on the safe side. So Ahmed said to me when he came, he's like, I do not understand why this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? But I understood because I have seen this so many times. Ahmed was drowning in pressure. He wasn't sleeping enough because he didn't think that there was enough time for him to get an early night. In his mind, he was trying to manage and hold like 387 things all at the same time. He was always on. He was trying to please everyone. He was trying to please so many people that he was losing his sense of where he ended and other people began. Does any of this sound a bit like you? If so, the reason that you feel overwhelmed is because you are overloaded, because you are trying to do the impossible. You're trying to juggle way too many balls and you're trying to succeed in too many different areas of your life simultaneously. You're saying yes when you should be saying no. So why does this not work? Or why did it used to work and no longer works? Humans aren't good at multitasking. We can do it for a while, but it takes a toll. And even if we think we're really good at it, it's actually a fallacy. Research shows that we're bad at multitasking, and for our own well-being and for our productivity at work, we need to focus, ideally on one thing at a time. We need to find ways to put boundaries in place that protect us. You need to find boundaries that allow you to be the best version of yourself. And that means learning this very important skill that we all knew when we were 2, but we lost as we grew up, or we weren't allowed. How to say no. Every time you say no to something, you're actually saying yes to something else. And every time you say yes to something, like checking emails late at night, or working very late, or not having lunch, you're saying no to rest. You're saying no to be present with the people who are most important to you. You're saying no to taking care of yourself. If you're ready to stop feeling behind and overwhelmed and to start creating boundaries that actually work, there's a link in the description below, and you can connect with me directly. You're also welcome to join my high performance mindset community. The link is in the description also. Now, I want to share something that changed everything for Ahmed, and for many of my clients, it has been incredibly helpful. I hope it's going to change everything for you too. It's called the Miracle Day exercise. It comes from positive psychology, and here's how it works. Imagine if you had good boundaries, if you could say no with total confidence and without guilt. That would be a miracle, right? So what would your miracle day look like? I want you to imagine that your fairy godmother arrives tonight while you are sleeping. She waves her tiny little magic wand, and she grants you the incredible ability to say no with absolute confidence, with zero fear and zero guilt. What would your day look like tomorrow? Nothing external has changed, but something big has changed inside you. You don't know that this has happened, but when you wake up at your normal time when your alarm goes off, how do you feel different? You get out of bed, you go through your morning routine. What's different? What does your partner notice about you? What do your kids notice about you? So for example, do you even pick up your phone to check emails and WhatsApp on this miracle day when you can say no? Or do you give yourself permission to be goofy and playful with your kids instead? On the way to work, do you listen to uplifting music or something that amuses you? Or do you try to wade through the audio transcript taken by your AI note taker of a meeting that you missed? How does your day look? How do you block your time? What meetings do you take and what meetings do you not take? And how much do you delegate? Do you stop for coffee or tea or whatever? Do you spontaneously go for lunch with a friend? Or maybe you go for lunch just to listen to a podcast on your own while you treat yourself to some delectable sushi or something. Do you work late? Or do you go home earlier? What choices would you make if you could confidently, fearlessly, happily say no? My friends, this is life-changing. This exercise is really simple, but it does make a really big difference when you see what can change externally as a result of an internal change that you make. I recommend that you pause the video here and actually do this exercise. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. Research shows that when you write things down, it feels more real and you actually get more benefit out of it. Much more than just thinking about it or visualizing it. I want you to go through your entire miracle day from the moment you wake up and visualize exactly how the day would look when you suddenly have this miraculous ability to say no in a calm, guilt-free, and responsible way. I mean, you're not suddenly going to be, doing crazy stuff, but just, live your life in this way. When you finish the exercise, I want you to then rate it and rate yourself. If you assume that the miracle day that you've just mapped out is your personal 10 out of 10, because it's a miracle day, then take a look at your current day and compare. What does your current life look like? Score yourself out of 10. Whether you're a 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 or 8 out of 10, write it down. Then ask yourself, why am I not at 0? Even if you're only at a 3 out of 10, it means that there is something that you're currently doing right. What are you already saying no to? These are strengths and strategies and resources that you already have in your life. Next, ask yourself what's a realistic number to aim for on a daily basis. If you acquired this ability to say no and thus set boundaries. If you're currently at a 3, maybe you could aim for like a 5 or a 6. If you're currently at a 5 or a 6, maybe aim for a 7 or 8. Small steps, right? Let me know in the comments, what number are you at right now and what's your realistic goal? I want you to pause the video to comment and take a few minutes. Take a few minutes to write the answer to these questions on your piece of paper. It's so helpful to think this through. When Ahmed did this exercise with me in therapy, he realized he was trying to be everything to everyone. And his ideal day wasn't completely different, but it involved more scheduling, less activity, proper breaks, and way more delegation. The first change that Ahmed made was actually getting an adorable puppy. It was something that he previously never allowed himself to do because he didn't have enough time to take care of a puppy. But he got this beautiful little puppy and she forced him to take regular walks and make time to play with her. And that was a massive change in the right direction for him. He started saying no to a whole bunch of family requests. He blocked out time for deep work and said no to interruptions in that time. He chose quality over quantity in his social life. But most important, he actually gave himself permission to not be perfect at everything. By saying no, you're doing this. Ahmed is now less stressed, more productive, and what's really nice is that he recently met someone that he's really excited about, and he's able to be fully present during their conversations instead of feeling stressed and constantly thinking about work or constantly thinking about his to-do list. For me personally, I would love to see like double or more the amount of clients a week than I currently see. It'd be nice to fit in 40 people a week because I love helping people. And honestly, it would be great to make more money. And on paper, I could do it. But for my own approach and for my own mental health, I know that I cannot. Therapy is intense work, and to protect myself and my clients, I take on a maximum of like 15 to 17 sessions a week. And I say no to everything else. And this gives me longer weekends and a chance to rest and recharge, and it makes me a much better therapist and an overall happier person. So here's your homework. Take a look at what you're already doing right. Set a realistic goal that's not too far from where you are in the now. And then come up with actionable steps that are going to bring you closer to your ideal day. What actionable thing can you say no to this week, right now? That might mean saying no to a committee meeting or delegating more at work or not checking emails after a certain time. It's going to be different for everyone. Start small, but make a start. If you find yourself stuck, if you're unable to say no, if you're literally unable to say no, even when you know you should, there might be something else going on. If you'd like help to do this exercise with me, or if you need to understand why you're a people pleaser and why you feel so guilty about saying no and setting boundaries that you literally cannot, then please click on the link in the description and connect with me. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't light up your life with an empty battery. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary for you to be the best version of yourself so that you can be the best version for everyone else. If this video helped you see where you might be overcommitting yourself and what tweaks you could make in your schedule to make your life so much better, please like, subscribe to this channel, and share this video to someone who needs to hear this. You can reclaim your life, and reclaiming your life might actually take smaller tweaks than you had imagined. You deserve to feel successful. You deserve to not be overwhelmed and overloaded. I hope that you can make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.